welcome, gracious fans all over the world, to another episode of
2 halves and a 45. Episode
Dos.
dos.
All
My
right.
name is, you can just call me L.
And I am controversial.
And thank you for joining us today for another episode, a new episode. Before we get started, I believe my co-host and colleague and in other words, brother from another mother, had a introduction or point he wanted to point out before we get started. I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Controversial.
Right. Not really that much of a big point here, but I just wanted to know here, has anybody seen the double L's for the La Liga logo?
I have not seen it per se, but I will take my time to do research. What I have seen is that they have now placed banners like other respective leagues. I believe England had done it. I believe Germany had done it. Um, about say no to racism because I believe they are having a problem about
Listen,
racism.
my thing is they thought they could get away with a sleek rebranding after that horror show that happened with Vinny. Come on. What? Okay. No to racism now. La Liga. Come on. Come on. Come on.
uh Racism is more than a sporting problem. It's a societal problem,
Of
in
course.
my belief. And we should all say no to every and all forms of racism. It is not needed in our sporting world. It is not needed in our society. It has no place or business anywhere in our world and our society. And as truth and in fact, we should always say no and get rid of racism. We are all equal and all as one, and we should love and live and be respectful to each other's thoughts and guide each other in the best way we can with each other. So definitely I am all for no for racism or any form of hate towards anyone at all. And with that
Except if
said,
you're Everton, right?
yes, yes, yes. And with that said, we are going to move on to the topics today at hand. And some of the topics we're gonna talk about is Manchester City. And no, everybody, this is not the Manchester City love show. This is 2 halves and a 45. Always remember.
Of course, of course.
Versus Inter, Manchester City's treble. How would I say? Uh, um, their march to a historic treble only have been done, I believe, by the 1999 team Manchester United. Um, and so, but
Let's
Manchester
go.
City have won a domestic treble before, I believe, but
A
just they never had.
quadruple, but who's counting? Who's counting?
Well, yes, yes, yes. Props is due where props is due. Um, so I would like to give them their props on their march to hopefully would be a successful season for them in obtaining that treble, that historic achievement. That would be a
Right.
great thing for not only the city of Manchester, but the team itself, to be
Of
on.
course, but let's be for real now. Let's be for real. Who is really excited about a Manchester City treble? Like, look at their team. De Bruyne, informed Gundo is he's literally like He's literally like Zidane. He end of season every year he turns to prime Zidane. He cannot miss. He is Mr. Whippy. And then they have that beast up front, Erling. Come on, bro. Like it's
Well,
who really wants
don't
to see this
discount.
train derail and the entirety of football right now?
Well, I am going to throw again. This is not the Manchester City love show. Okay,
Okay, for
so
sure, for
everybody
sure.
knows. But I'm going to be the controversial one right now by saying I'm going to put a spoke or throw a wrench in that spoke by
All
saying
right.
this, or in the wheel, as people will know it, by saying this. Manchester City is a great team to watch. Fantastic players, great coach. I've never been to the city, so I don't know how the city is. But they're coming up against Inter Milan. Now, everybody's putting Inter Milan as the underdogs. And Manchester City now is coming up against a team that maybe doesn't play beautiful football, but for some way, somehow, they get the job done.
They definitely do. They've done it
So
before.
they have done it before. And also, Manchester City themselves did come up against Chelsea. Woe beyond that, I think that year they never beaten Chelsea. I think all the three matches Manchester City lost all three, or maybe two of them and drew one or something. But I
It,
believe within that
it was a
time
tough
span,
year. I
yeah,
think we let me not say we. Now I think Manchester City beat them twice before, and then I think they drew one. I don't think they lost to them that year, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
well, as I said, it's there for the taking for all. Inter Milan would be their first title since I believe 2010, since Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho left when they had win their treble that year. Um, and it would be Manchester City's first Champions League if they are to win. So it would be a great match, a defensive solid team in Inter Milan, and a juggernaut within Manchester City. I believe the match is June 10. Everyone should tune in,
Of
see what's
course, of
going
course.
on, take it in, because it
For
should
me
be a
though,
great
I
watch.
got a quick question here for you. I got a real nice one. I got a real
Yeah,
nice one since we're on the topic of trebles. You did mention that Manchester United, they had they're the first English team to really bring that treble to, as they say, the home of football, right?
yeah.
Allegedly. But for me, actually for you, sorry, what would you think is the best treble team out of all the treble teams that's ever done?
I mean, in terms of England, or in terms of in general, like you bringing in
In terms
Spain
of
and
in general, because when you really look at it, well, honestly, right now, Man U is the only one that really has it, aside from City doing the domestic quadruple. But
yeah.
when we're talking about
I
treble,
mean,
we're really
Liverpool
talking
did
about
do a treble,
experience.
but that was
Jeez, man.
2001. I believe they won the FA Cup, they won the league, the FA Cup, the League Cup. I think it was called the Carling Cup at that time. I'm not sure
Mhm.
what brand or name it had. And they had won the Europa League, which would be the European League. I'm not sure. I'm not quite familiar with the name, what it was called at that time, but it would be the Europa League in today's standing. And so they had won a treble, but I guess the ultimate treble in what you're asking for is would be the Manchester United treble. Of course, no one has ever won the quad before, so that would trump everything.
Yeah, but I mean outside of England though, because there's been like other other treble teams as well across the top flight in Europe. For instance, Inter, they did a treble, literally right
But that was
before that.
2010.
Yeah, and
But
right
also,
before that, Barcelona, literally the
Barcelona
year
would be the
prior.
best team because that treble winning team with Messi, Neymar, Suarez, who can forget the MSN?
Really? Wait. Out of all the teams, you'd say MSN was the absolute best treble winning team?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just giving you examples
So
of
who's
treble
your
winning
who's your
teams.
top
That's
pick?
and saying who can forget the MSN. I'm not sure if the BBC had won a treble. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. But you can also think about the Bavarians, you know, in Germany, Bayern Munich. They have won a treble, I believe, when they hammered Barcelona 8-2, you know. So there's a lot of good teams that have won 3 trophies. Only thing, England is one of the countries with, I guess, the most cup games. So they
Right.
can have 4 trophies. Everybody
Who's
else
your
have
top
2.
treble team out of all of the
Who is
teams?
my top
Who's your top
treble
treble team?
team?
League, Champions League, and League Cup.
I would have to say the MSN. For me, the
MSN.
MSN. Yeah. That year, we all knew they were winning La Liga. We all knew they were winning the Copa del Rey. And without a shadow of a doubt, they would have not been stopped by Juve. They I mean, Ronaldo, the BBC was powerless against them. They tried and they were powerless, you know. And at that time, it was just really the 2 most formidable teams was Real Madrid and Barcelona. So that for
I
me
definitely see that. I see that.
for thing. But let's not get hung up on that one. Let's go to a quick score prediction for the first topic. So because we have to continue to entertain our fans.
For sure, for sure, for sure.
Yes.
So for me, score prediction would have to be I say honestly 3-1. 3-1 City because lately you could see as Pep did say, they're getting a little bit tired. It's the end of the season. There's nothing really to play for. So of course, no, they're not really going full throttle. Of course, they want to win there, but I say 3-1 because Inter you can't really put them out. Of course, they're gonna definitely score one, I'm sure, but still, City for 3. I say Holland scores and Gundo whips one in, and for sure De Bruyne is gonna cap it off. What do you think?
Well, I am going to, I guess, throw another monkey wrench in the works again
Oh boy, okay.
by saying
Uh-huh.
if Mr. Guardiola continues in this path that he's going down, I don't see in Manchester City being stopped. But every person, team, man, woman, animal have its day on this planet. And just like we saw when we all thought, again, in 2012, if I could reference back to Chelsea,
Mhm.
and everybody saw what happened in 2012 in the Allianz Arena also. Yes, even though it is at a neutral venue and it's not at the Etihad Stadium. But I could also see an Inter not taking a point, but defeating Manchester City.
So what's his score?
So I would go and say, that's a beautiful thought, but I would say 2-1.
2-1. Favor of Inter.
2-1 City.
Yo,
Bad
okay.
people. Too
All
bad.
right, because for a second there, you had me for you were throwing me for a loop. I thought you were about to say Inter. Don't get me wrong, like, obviously Inter is a great team. They have Dzeko, still in the twilight of his years now, but still he's a top scorer. Can't count him out.
Well, right now, the partnership of Lukaku and Martinez is back. It is banging. I'm not sure what Chelsea are going to do, what their thoughts are. Maybe he's just a guy that is more happy at Inter. I'm not sure if Inter even
It's
has the money to.
he's only suited to play Italian football. Clearly, he's not for the rigors of the Premier League. Is he hasn't done it at Everton. He hasn't done it at Man U. He hasn't done it at Chelsea. He's never gonna do it in the Premier League. Just like
Well, I mean, well, we will just have to see, I would say.
for sure.
And so let's move on now. I want to go to the topic of teams to watch, and we're gonna go quickly over the five big leagues. I would start in our league of choice, which would be any league, because we support and watch them all. So before we get started, I just want to give a quick shout out to the, as you can see on my mask, it is the RSL, which is the Saudi Professional League. It was founded in 1979. Nine-time current champion Al Ittihad is the champion there in Asia. They are part of the Asian Federation. Go check the league out. I have some more that I want to say about the league, but in further stages of the show. So give a shout out to them. Everybody go check them out, see what's going on, like, support, just like you will do for us. Like, subscribe, and support. Thank you. You see in the mask. This is not the logo, just so you know. This is the logo that I made up, but this is some of the initials that is on the logo. So again, check out the league, everybody. And over to you, Mr. Controversial. What teams you're looking for, where you want to start, so we can start anywhere, my friend.
Right. So, for sure, we're definitely gonna start here in I'm gonna start in Spain. Obviously, with all the stuff that's going on, aside from, well, it was on the pitch for sure. But aside from all that, for sure, for me, it definitely have to be Barcelona.
Yeah.
Lewandowski is on fire, and I'd love to see how he continues in La Liga, especially since he's pretty much. I think he won
Pachichi.
I'm sorry.
He won the Golden Boot.
Okay, right. Yeah. So it has to be Barcelona for me in
Yeah.
La Liga. Next up for sure, I want to see how Griezmann really performs. I don't know if Atleti is going to really push all that well with the well, because Felix is coming back there for sure, but I'm not too sure. But I still want to see him. I think that they're a team to watch for next season. Absolutely. And then Bellingham is going to Real Madrid, so
Allegedly.
allegedly. Those are definitely always going to be my top three teams there. Also Valencia, just being because they just keep surprising us every single year. Great team.
Well, I'm going to go against all grain, and I'm just going to do one team and one player. And I'm going to say, you're going to look out for this. I'm going to say the team to look out for next year is Real Sociedad and their 22-year-old attacking midfielder, Kubo. Look out for that player. He was an ex-Real Madrid player. He played upwards of 30-odd games for them. I believe he scored a couple goals, I believe 9 goals or so. But again, he's 22 years old. And that's the player and that's the team I would say to look out for next season to continue on in the progression. Of course, they already gate crashed the Champions League for Spain. So let's see if that can continue. Valencia, I know you mentioned Valencia. They barely survived on the last day of La Liga. They were the one that also got into trouble for the gestures they were spewing, the vitriol in the stadium from and are about Vinny Jr. And so they almost made it. And I'm not really too sure about if you should look out for them next season, but the ball is round and anything is possible. But that would be my person to look out for, and my
And
team to
that
look out
was
for next season.
definitely my mistake right there. Because honestly, I said Valencia. Honestly, I actually meant to say Sevilla because they just won the
Europa League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my fault. I just got a little bit mixed up there because yeah, they were definitely the ones you know, that was coming at Vinny here. Got a little bit crossed over there, but no worries.
That's all right. That's all right. Let's move on to say Italy. Who would you say for Italy?
For Italy, I don't really have a team in Italy, I'd say, to look out for. More so than AC Milan. Right now, Rafael Leao, when you look at him, how he plays with like, you know, that fervor, like that ink. So for me, it's definitely them. Not to mention
Don't forget Divock Origi, blood.
Divock Origi.
Champions League winner.
I mean, hey, he won
Premier
Champions
League
League,
winner.
so you know,
Carling Cup winner.
all that,
FA Cup winner.
I
And
mean, outside of winning
World Cup winner.
outside of winning the World Cup, he'd have completed football, you know. So I mean,
exactly. So put some respect on that man's name. Thank you, everybody. Just like
what about you for Italy?
Well, for me in Italy, the one team I'm gonna go for is Napoli.
I mean, they won. I mean, granted, I picked
Barcelona.
They
won
too,
after 33 years. But again, the team they did it with, I'm not sure if their coach decided he's going to leave, but he could leave with his head held.
Yeah, so he actually is gonna take a sabbatical for the year. So I'm, you know, well, okay. All the best to them, and
all the best to them. And my guy to look out for is their 24-year-old forward, the Nigerian sensation, Victor Osimhen. What a player!
Yeah, sure.
Little player. But did you also know, people, that Victor was a Wolfsburg player? He was in the academy at Wolfsburg. He went from Wolfsburg, that academy, to playing for Wolfsburg. I believe then he went to Lille, and then now he's at Napoli. And for anyone that's trying to get him out of there, oh my, we're gonna talk about that in the next topic, anyways.
For sure.
So stay with us.
Let's wrap this topic up, and let's go to
well, we have two more to go real quick. So let me go back and go straight to Germany before we wrap it up real quick, my brother.
Okay, all right.
And I'm going to say you could look out for my team, dear Dortmund, to come in second again. All kidding, all kidding. Everybody starts with 0.
It's just the bottle. It's just the bottle.
But the guy to look out for is Kareem Adeyemi, 21 years. 21 years old, ex-Salzburg player, and the guy that came back from that terrible diagnosis. I wish him all the best, and I'm glad that he's fully well. The one, the only Sebastian Haller. Welcome.
Has also been good for them as well. So.
Props to you. Congratulations on your diagnosis. May long life continue from us here at 2 halves and a 45 to you and your family, because we promote love always and good health. So moving on to the last one before we wrap it up, because Mr. Controversial said we gotta go on, people. The show gotta go on. And last but not least, we're going for the Alan Shearer boys, the Michael Owen boys, after he got washed up from Real Madrid.
Right.
It's new.
Why that one was so quiet, man? I thought that was gonna be a banger and a whisper.
No. The resurrection of Eddie Howe, going from Bournemouth. And I mean, he did well. He did well in Bournemouth for his first couple of years. And then I believe, I think his last year, they got relegated. But I mean, he's back. He is back. There
Sure.
was a point where he was about to become the manager of Celtic, allegedly. And he turned it down, I believe, to go to Newcastle. That was
Definitely made the right decision there for sure.
match made in heaven. He took that team from a mid-table, almost relegation, to where they are now. And I would say good for Eddie Howe. But anyways, the show must go on. As we say, who is the big movers of the transfer market? That's yet to tell and yet to see. But we have a lot of players that are free agents. Karim Benzema, anybody? He's already taken, allegedly going to Saudi Arabia. Marco
He's definitely going
Asensio,
to Saudi
allegedly
Arabia.
taken also, going to PSG. Or anybody want Eden Hazard? 7 goals, 4 years, 14 million a goal. Hey!
Oh no, too much burgers for me.
But there are a lot of players to come. There's a lot of players in the transfer market. The big movers, as we're watching out for, is going to be allegedly Harry Kane going to Real Madrid. Harry Kane, is your decision whether you want to stay in Spurs or whether you are going to try your hand at winning trophies, because it is there for the taking.
I mean, he deserves it. I mean, honestly, when it really comes down to it, with anyone who does sports, I don't know why you would do sports other than to win something. That's why we
Everybody
do it,
has,
right? To win.
yeah, and I mean, well, that's what they said, but some people's priority changes. You know, he might have a sentimental
Course,
value
but
towards Tottenham and want to
you
stay
know,
there, but then again, who knows? You know,
but
whatever
even for
his
them, if you're
wishes.
not winning for them, like, what do you look? It's not my career. It's not.
Yeah, that's why I said that's why I said, whatever, we would just have to respect his wishes wherever he ends up. If you decide to stay at Tottenham, well, more power to you. To stay at Tottenham and fulfill the joys of, or whatever make you joyful. But if Real Madrid is calling, you would have a greater opportunity, in my opinion, to obtain a trophy. La Liga, Copa del Rey, even the Champions League, who knows? Because Real Madrid is always steady building a very formidable team. And so only time will tell. Only time will tell. So we will see who is the big movers. But with all that cash, because I'm not sure how much Tottenham would even sell him for, what are they going to do? Mariano Diaz is free, my guys. He can take over. Or you
I
might
think
convince Liverpool to sell you Darwin Nunes. Hey,
I
who
feel
knows?
like Daniel Levy has to just probably just start from scratch all over again
Can't
because
happen right now because too much money
culture
for that
is.
stadium.
Yeah, but I mean, what are you gonna do? Continue to fall down the in the league? You're gonna have $1 billion stadium in 5 years and no fans, or at least $1 billion stadium in 5 years and playing in the championship. But
Well, you remember
it's
the
not
Bale
my money.
investment?
It's not my money. I'm
You
just a
remember,
pundit.
you remember the Bale investment? I mean, what to say? What to say? We will just all have to tune in for the next episode and continue tuning in and wait and see, people, because we are going to see what Daniel Levy is going to do with that cash or no cash, blood, nothing. But we are going to go to the one, the only, the controversial corner. And there's only 3 topics today, just like every other time, people. And our topics for the controversial corner is, what is the future of Lionel Messi and Sergio Ramos, with them bidding farewell to League On, aka we won't say what kind of league it is, blood. What is the future? Because allegedly it's been reported that Saudi Arabia or the Middle Eastern clubs want to get about 50, that is, ex-players to rebrand their league to make it into a formidable league. And so this time next year, there might be no Karim Benzema for the first time in the Champions League, no Lionel Messi, and no Cristiano Ronaldo. What would you say for that? That's the first topic. And we already know the second topic coming up, that Karim Benzema is leaving Real Madrid after 14 years. I mean, for 173 million pounds for 2 years, allegedly again. What would you say?
Right.
And
So
third topic and final is, with Cristiano Ronaldo already in the Middle East playing football/soccer, do you think these other guys are going to jump in and form or put their input on the leagues in the Middle East/Asia? What are your answers?
So first and foremost, for the future of European football, shout out to Lionel Messi, shout out to Karim Benzema, shout out to Cristiano Ronaldo, and also Sergio Ramos. They're some of the greatest players to ever play in Champions League football. And we've obviously, had some amazing memories over the years with these players, but it's an end of an era. It'd be good for them to go to the to the Middle Eastern leagues. I mean, hey, it's about time they play for themselves and they make as much money as possible. So all power to them, but they should it's come to an end. It's time to move on, time to make some money. Going on to the Benzema. Honestly, last season they won the Champions League. For me, I would have just hung up my boots then and there because at that point, I won the Ballon d'Or, won the league, won the Champions League. I'm not getting any younger. It's about time. For me again, it's awesome that he stayed for as long as he did, but come on, it's time to give the younger lads that shine now and go make your money in the oil leagues. Ronaldo, he talked about him, talking about the reputation of the Middle Eastern leagues and him boosting it, and him even saying that it's going to be popular in about 4 years. They said that about the Chinese Super League. So only time will tell. I don't think it's going to be a big thing. I think these players should definitely go there, make their bag. Eden Hazard, if you can stop eating them burgers. For sure. Definitely you might want to check out that league as well, my guy. But it's just another Chinese Super League to me until they stand the test of time. We'll see in about 5 years. But for right now, everybody go over there and go make your money. That's all I have to say.
Well, with that said, that is the controversial corner. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time again that we must bid you all a fair adieu. We greatly appreciate you joining us once again for our show. We greatly appreciate you if you like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. This show is presented to you by Mr. L and Mr. Controversial. And we bid you guys a fair adieu. And we once again say, what's the name of our show this time, Mr. L? It's over to you.
Well, Mr. Controversial would say, thank you for watching 2 halves and a 45, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Remember, episode dust, people. And we're keeping track, blood. We're keeping track. Good night. Thank you for your love and support, everyone. Have a good day.